So the word on the street is that Harley Davidson are going to sell a track bike in 2024. Oh, let's get into this one. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So, Harley Davidson, the American motorcycle manufacturer for 2024, are apparently bringing out a track bike. And this is a track bike that you can buy. Is this a good idea? Well, let's get to the bottom of this rumor, and does it have any legs? So I first heard about this, must have been about 5 or 6 weeks ago. I was doing a video, and I think I did a live show as well, where I was talking about different rumors and speculations about Harley Davidson for 2024, and most of it, as I said, was just idle nonsense chit chat. Since that time, there's been more and more of this in the ether. Now, what I've also been receiving a lot more this year than I did last year was more from Harley Davidson themselves in the way of publicizing their race team and who's going to be featuring in next year's team for 2024. Now, Harley Davidson factory team haven't won the championship for the last 2 years. This year they came third behind Vance and Hines' Harley Davidson team, who got first and second. Now, that's basically, for the brand, that's a 1-2-3. So as a brand, they've had a really good year on the track. It's just that the factory team haven't won. Okay, what's this got to do with Harley Davidson selling a factory bike? Well, last year I got into a conversation with one of the race engineers from the factory team as well, and they had the factory team bike on display. And a lot of discussions that came thereafter with various different people over the last year have talked about lots of improvements and evolution of that track bike and what it means for future models. Okay, let's just quickly shift over to the competition. Indian Motorcycles in 2023, this year, they brought out their Indian Challenger RR track bike. That is only for the track. It can be sold to members of the public, but it can only go on the track. And essentially, that is a replica of their bike that they've been racing in the King of the Baggers. Now, how many of these bikes have sold? I think it's $100,000 price tag or whatever it is. It could be less, it could be more than that, but it's irrelevant really. It's still a hyper expensive bike, and it can only be used on the track. So it's only going to be attractive to those with really deep pockets who'd like to take something like that on a racetrack every now and again. So I get it. It's not for me, but I get it. So from Harley Davidson's point of view, they've been pushing their King of the Baggers factory team quite a lot over the last year. And also they've been trying to get Harley Davidson on the top podium. And basically they've done that. Maybe not by the factory team, but they've done it through the Vance and Hines team as well. They've got a 1-2-3 in the championship standings. So moving into 2024, they obviously really want to build upon that. But it's all about the brand. Racing and brand identity has always been closely linked. In fact, racing success has a direct link to product sales as well. In all forms of racing, whether it's motorcycling, whether it's cars. If you win on the track with a Ford, you're going to sell more Fords. If you win on the track with a Ducati, you're going to sell more Ducatis. It's no surprise that Ducati, who've been doing really well on the racetrack for the last few years, have also been doing really well in the motorcycle sales as well. So you've got your main competition, let's say, or your American competitor, who've also bought out their track bike, and whether it's selling or not is kind of irrelevant because it's adding fuel to the brand. You've got your factory race team and a competitive race team who are also running Harley Davidsons, who are doing quite well in the King of the Baggers as well. And now you're also trying to tap in to a demand that is there in the Harley Davidson fan world, let's say, for performance baggers. And not only that, you're going to give them even more performance, even more of a thrill ride. And the only way to do that is to give them a race bike, a race replica bike. Now, is this track bike that it's reported that Harley Davidson are going to be made available for 2024, whether it's in January or whether it's some other time in the year, is it going to be an exact replica? Is it going to be to the same specifications? Or is it going to be some kind of variant of that? Now, I've said this before. When I spoke to the race engineer, I was surprised that he told me that a lot of the parts that are used on those bikes are standard parts. Some of them are Screaming Eagle parts, but some of them are just standard parts. Yes, there's a lot of modifications for the race bike. Of course there is. But a lot of it is standard parts. Now, bearing in mind, they're only using those bikes for a handful of laps. So reliability and long-term long-term resistance and resilience isn't really much of a concern. They just need a bike that can finish the race and possibly last into the next race as well. So that's why using those standard parts, you would imagine if they can last the test of a race, then fine, they'll use that. They can save a few dollars there, I'm sure. So it kind of makes sense from a marketing strategy point of view for the company themselves, who want to fuel the performance bagger market, but also draw in those race fans as well, to give them an opportunity to buy a race ready bike, or as good as. But is it a good move? Is this more of a gimmick marketing ploy? I've got to say, well, if this is true, I think it's more of a gimmick than anything else. Just the same with Indian Challenger RR track bike. I really don't see how many people are going to be willing to spend that kind of money on that kind of bike, how many bikes they're going to sell, and how often are they going to be used. But is that the point? The mere fact that Harley Davidson may want to follow suit from Indian Motorcycles and release a track bike for general sale to the public kind of means that they're taking this racing very seriously, and they also want to attract the race fans and keep those race fans into the brand as well. Now, there are no details on this bike. There are no specifications on this bike. We don't know pricing. We don't know anything about it. This is purely a rumor right now that has kind of gathered pace over the last few weeks. As I say, I found out about this about five or 6 weeks ago, something like that, but it was idle chit chat. Now it seems to be a little bit more coming out as well, but also being fed a lot of information about the race bikes for next year, and also what that means for the performance bagger market as well. This could be true. It could be a thing. I'm not so sure that it's the right thing. So if it doesn't happen, maybe Harley Davidson will be listening to me and take my advice and just don't do it. Just put all your effort into producing performance baggers that you already sell, improving the CVOs, improving the whole Grand America touring lineup. But to bring out a track bike, I'm not so sure this is a good plan. I get it from a marketing point of view that you want to attract race fans, but I'm not so sure this is the right thing to do. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. It'd be very interesting to see if Harley Davidson do bring out this bike for the track. How much will it cost? We've got to be talking about $100,000, I would easily imagine. And I would also imagine this only be for the American market as well. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Should Harley Davidson bring out a track bike for general sale to the public? And would you be interested? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. And I'll catch you again, possibly on a track bike. Ta-da now.